Now, before we get into the body of the material, it is important to give exact definitions of what we mean by law and how this differentiates from principles, as these terms will be used throughout the series. As Confucius was once quoted as saying, in order to reform the world, one must give exact definitions. So, laws are general rules and ideas that adhere to the nature of the universe, while principles describe specific phenomena that require clarity and explanation. Universal or divine law is any body of law that is perceived as deriving from a transcendental source. The seven universal laws are the law of correspondence, the law of mentalism, the law of vibration, the law of rhythm, the law of polarity, the law of gender, and the law of cause and effect. So, where did these laws come from? And these laws have been known in ancient civilizations, but they've gained a resurgence of attention in the New Age movement from a book written in 1908 by the three initiates entitled The Kybalion, which purports to convey the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus. And Hermes was considered to be an ancient Greek priest whose legend is earlier identified after the Egyptian deity Thoth or Thoth. And Thoth was the deity of wisdom, writing, hieroglyphs, science, magic, art, and judgment. And what's interesting about these seven universal laws is that many of us already know the principles of these laws through the widely circulated teachings of yogic chakras. And just as a recap, and for those who are not familiar with the various chakra points along the body, we're going to start at the bottom red circle and move upwards towards the purple circle. So the bottom red circle is called the root chakra, and that represents the region of the body that is at the base of the spine near our sacrum. And this is associated with the law of cause and effect. The next is the sacral chakra, and that represents our sexual reproductive organs. And this is associated with the law of gender. The next chakra point is the solar plexus chakra, and that is represented by the belly button, which is the midpoint between the upper and lower parts of our body, the left side, the right side, and the in and out of our abdomens. And this is associated with the law of polarity. The next chakra point is the heart chakra, and that represents the heart and the lungs region. And the law that's associated with that is the law of rhythm. And the law of rhythm in this chakra point is seen through our heartbeat and the cycle of our breathing. The next is the throat chakra, which represents our vocal cords, and this is associated with the law of vibration. The next chakra point is the third eye chakra, and that represents the pineal gland, which is located at the midline between the left and right hemispheres of the brain. And this is associated with the law of mentalism. And the last chakra point is the crown chakra, and the crown chakra is located just above the crown of our skull, and this is associated with the law of correspondence. When we take the seven universal laws and we parallel them with the seven chakra points, we realize that even though that the name and form are different, there's a common essence that is shared among many religious systems. And these religious systems include Buddhism, Hinduism, Sikhism, Jainism, Greek Hermeticism with its influence on early Christianity, and ancient Egyptian Kemetism. So there's an inheritance of divine wisdom that we all share. But why is it important to study and know these laws? And the first thing that comes to mind is that it's an opportunity to discover one's unique mission, purpose, and destiny in life. In order to do this, we need to ask ourselves, which law or laws do we naturally gravitate towards in our daily routines? Once we're able to identify this, studying the work of those who have come before us can lead us on the trajectory of fulfilling our own version of the great work, which leads to self-mastery. When we have mastered ourselves, it gives us the power to influence others. Unlocking each spiritual center gives awareness to aspects of our constitution that was previously unconscious. These unlock energies that are repressed within, and these energies are regenerative and reductive, which can be useful in healing and releasing. Also, when we open up our chakra points, we're able to access latent abilities such as clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. When we use these supernatural abilities, we can access a common heritage of mankind and receive divine knowledge. Once we have mastered this information, we will be able to use the constant creation of the universe in order to be able to manifest what we desire in life. To learn more about the seven chakra points and how to unlock the spiritual centers, feel free to visit the Foundation's Ko-fi page. The Direct Path series lays the foundation for the Master Key session, which will be exclusively available for members of the Commonessence Foundation. The next session in the series covers the universal law of cause and effect.